Have you ever wondered what it feels like to finally silence the relentless chatter that echoes through your mind, offering you a rare moment of stillness in a world that never seems to pause? Imagine your thoughts as a vast, unruly river, its waters surging with torrents of worry, doubt, and endless what-ifs, threatening to sweep you into a whirlpool of exhaustion with every twist and turn. Now picture yourself as the captain of that river, armed with an ancient compass crafted by Aristotle, a thinker who, over 2,300 years ago, mapped the terrain of the human soul with precision and care. Welcome back to Aristo Soul, where we're continuing to unravel Aristotle's wisdom to guide your personal growth, leadership, and the evolution of your inner self. This is the fourth installment in our Aristotle's Wisdom playlist. Building on our previous explorations, stopping the 6 things that erode unbreakable confidence, discovering 7 virtues to instantly boost your leadership in business, and practicing 7 virtues to flourish and thrive. Today, in 5 ways to stop overthinking and master your mind, Aristo Soul, we're turning our attention to that inner tempest of overthinking, using Aristotle's principles of reason, moderation, and purposeful action to steer your mental river toward calm waters. This journey complements our past lessons but shifts the lens inward, focusing on mastering your thoughts rather than just your habits or outward virtues. And here's the promise: stay with me until the end of this video, because the 5th way is the most transformative, the one that could unlock a profound sense of freedom and control over your life. So, find a comfortable spot, perhaps with a warm drink in hand, and let's set sail on this thoughtful voyage together, step by step, wave by wave. First, let's embark on the journey of identifying the triggers of your overthinking, the subtle undercurrents that turn your mental river into a raging flood. Overthinking isn't merely a fleeting concern, it's a complex cascade, a relentless replay of past conversations, a dissection of every decision, or a vivid imagining of catastrophes that may never materialize. This differs from our first video, which targeted external confidence barriers like overworking or seeking constant validation, as we're now delving into the internal landscape where those thoughts take root and grow wild. Aristotle viewed the mind as a fertile field, one that requires careful tending to prevent weeds of worry from overtaking the crops of clarity. He said, "The wise man does not expose himself needlessly to danger," from the Nicomachean Ethics, Book 6, where he underscored the importance of using reason to shield ourselves from mental hazards that sap our vitality. This principle suggests that recognizing these triggers is the first act of cultivating your mental garden, transforming a chaotic flood into a gentle stream you can navigate. Overthinking can stem from a variety of sources, perhaps a critical comment from a colleague that lingers, a looming deadline that haunts your sleep, or an unresolved conflict with a friend that replays in your head. These triggers are unique to each of us, shaped by our experiences, fears, and aspirations, and Aristotle's call to wisdom invites us to face them with clarity rather than avoidance. So, how do you begin this process of discovery? First, dedicate a quiet moment each day. Set aside 15 minutes in a calm space, perhaps with soft music playing or a candle flickering, to sit with a journal and record every instance where your mind begins to spiral. Write down the time, the situation, and the thoughts that flood in. Maybe it's after a phone call where you felt judged, or when you're scrolling social media comparing yourself to others. Over the course of a week, this practice becomes a mirror, reflecting the patterns of your inner world. Next, analyze these entries with a curious mind. Create a simple table with columns for time, trigger, emotion, and a brief note, filling it with at least 5 examples. For instance, note if it's always a sarcastic remark from a supervisor at 10 a.m. that sparks a cascade, or a financial worry at night that keeps you awake, and let the data speak. Then, assign each trigger a vivid personal name, like the judgment cascade, the deadline deluge, or the regret rapids, to make it a tangible foe you can confront. Write a short description next to each, like, "This feels like I've let everyone down," or "This is my fear of not being enough," connecting the name to the emotion to deepen your understanding. After that, explore the roots. Spend 5 minutes per trigger asking why it hits hard, tracing it back to a memory or belief, like tying judgment cascade to a childhood need for approval from a strict teacher. And jot down one insight, such as "I seek validation to feel secure." This step turns abstract worry into a story you can unravel. Finally, engage a confidant. Once a week, share one trigger with a friend over a casual chat, perhaps during a walk, and ask them to reflect on it. Their perspective might reveal a blind spot, like how you overvalue others' opinions, offering a new lens. This methodical approach, unlike the habit-focused confidence boost of video 1, builds a foundation of self-awareness, empowering you to see the river's source. I recall a friend, Liam, who wrestled with this when he stepped into a high-stakes sales role. His mind would churn before every pitch, replaying every word, fearing rejection from potential clients. He started journaling those moments, nervousness before a 9 a.m. meeting, late-night replays after a missed sale, and named them the pitch panic. Over weeks, he traced it to a fear of not measuring up, rooted in a time when his father critiqued his early efforts. With a friend's insight during a coffee break, he realized it was less about the clients and more about proving himself. Liam began to see pitch panic as a challenge to overcome, not a flaw to hide. His progress, marked by fewer sleepless nights and bolder presentations, showed me that naming and understanding the storm is the first step to taming it, a lesson that lingered with me through my own quiet battles with self-doubt. Next, let's center ourselves on what we can control to still the mental waters. Overthinking often pulls us into a swirling vortex of the uncontrollable, other people's reactions, the unpredictability of tomorrow, the outcomes we can't predict, leaving us adrift and powerless. This stands apart from our second video, which highlighted leadership virtues like courage and justice for outward action in business, as we're now forging an internal anchor with reason and focus. Aristotle believed that true wisdom lies in discerning our sphere of influence, a cornerstone of living a good life. He wrote, "Practical wisdom is the mark of a good life," from the Nicomachean Ethics, Book 6, where he argued that mastering our mind begins with directing our energy toward what we can shape. This isn't about commanding others, as in leadership, but about commanding our own thoughts, a subtle but profound shift. The uncontrollable, whether it's a friend's mood swing or a global event, can dominate our mental space if we let it. But Aristotle's wisdom invites us to draw a line, to plant our feet on solid ground amid the flood. Let's dive deeper into our journey of mastering the mind with Aristotle's timeless wisdom, continuing our exploration of how to stop overthinking. So far, we've identified the triggers of your overthinking and centered yourself on what you can control, laying a strong foundation to calm that wild mental river. Now we'll explore 2 more powerful ways to guide your thoughts toward peace and clarity. We're building on the lessons from our Aristotle's Wisdom playlist, where we've already tackled breaking confidence barriers, boosting leadership with virtues, and practicing virtues to flourish. This video, 5 ways to stop overthinking and master your mind. Aristo Soul is about equipping you with the tools to quiet the inner storm, and the 5th step ahead is the most transformative, so stay with me until the end. Let's keep navigating this river together, wave by wave. Now let's tap into the transformative power of breath to interrupt the overthinking cycle and restore harmony to your mind and body. When your thoughts race uncontrollably, your body often joins the frenzy. Your heart thumps louder, your breath quickens, your shoulders tighten, and the mental river swells with every anxious wave. This isn't about changing external habits like avoiding overworking or people-pleasing as we explored before to build confidence, but rather a physical technique to break the mental loop, offering a fresh way to manage the internal chaos. Aristotle deeply valued harmony as the soul's natural rhythm, a state he believed we achieve through moderation, a principle he explored with great care. He said, "Virtue is the mean between two extremes," from the Nicomachean Ethics, Book 2, where he taught that neither suppressing our emotions nor letting them run wild brings true peace. Instead, a balanced response, like a steady current, calms the storm. Breathing deeply embodies this golden mean, acting as a bridge between the chaos of overthinking and the calm of clarity, a method that allows you to pause without forcing the thoughts away entirely. It's a gentle reset, a way to step back from the edge of the whirlpool and find your footing on the riverbank. A practice that can shift your entire day with just a few moments of focus. How do you cultivate this anchor? First, establish a morning ritual. Spend 10 minutes each day writing down 3 specific, actionable items you can control, such as your tone during a morning call, the order in which you tackle your tasks, or the time you allocate to a personal passion like reading. Keep this list visible on your desk or taped to your mirror, revisiting it as a reminder throughout the day. Next, create a mental boundary. When thoughts about uncontrollable events like a coworker's attitude or a future storm invade your peace, pause for 30 seconds. Visualize a serene lake replacing the chaos and whisper, "This is not mine to carry." Practice this 4 times daily, perhaps at set intervals like after meals. Then act promptly. Choose one item from your list and complete it within the hour, like drafting an email with care or organizing your workspace with intention. Turn your plan into motion to build confidence in your control. After that, build a midday check-in. Take 5 minutes around noon to review what you've controlled, such as staying patient during a heated exchange. Note it in a small notebook with a sentence like, "I chose calm over conflict," reinforcing your focus with this daily habit. Next, end your day with reflection. Spend 7 minutes before bed reviewing one success, like finishing a report without fretting. Pair it with a positive affirmation, such as, "I guided my day with wisdom," to carry forward a sense of accomplishment. Then, seek feedback. Once a week, ask a trusted colleague or friend to point out a moment you stayed grounded, like during a team disagreement. Listen to their input to refine your practice, perhaps over a shared lunch. Finally, celebrate progress. Once a month, treat yourself to something small, like a favorite snack, for consistently focusing on the controllable. Mark it on your calendar as a milestone. This inward focus, distinct from the outward virtue application of video 2, offers a new tool to steady your mind, shifting the river's course with your own hands. A friend, Sarah, encountered this when her team's delays spun her into a frenzy of frustration. She listed what she could manage, her workflow, clear communication with her part, and visualized a lake when their pace intruded, whispering her boundary phrase during breaks. Over time, her team marveled at her composure, and she attributed it to this control, noting in her journal how it eased her tension. One day, a colleague remarked, "You're so steady," and Sarah realized her anchor held firm. Her journey taught me that anchoring in the controllable is like planting roots in a storm, a revelation that reshaped my own mental landscape during times of uncertainty, like waiting for life-changing news. How do you practice this breathing technique to anchor yourself? First, become acutely aware of when overthinking takes hold. Pause for 30 seconds the moment you notice your mind spiraling, whether you're at your desk, stuck in traffic, or lying awake at night. Step away if you can, perhaps moving to a quieter corner of your home. Next, adopt a structured breathing pattern to slow the mental rush. Inhale slowly through your nose for 6 counts, imagining a cool breeze filling your chest. Hold for 6 counts to let the air settle and steady your nerves. Exhale through your mouth for 8 counts, picturing tension leaving like a warm wave. Repeat this cycle 5 times in a row. Aim to do this twice daily, once mid-morning after your first tasks to reset, and once in the evening before you wind down to prepare for rest. Building a consistent habit strengthens your mental resilience over time. Then, add a sensory anchor to deepen the experience. Place one hand on your chest to feel the rise and the other on your belly to sense the fall with each breath. Focus on this rhythm for the entire session, and practice this daily for a week to make it a natural reflex. After that, extend the practice into moments of stress. Set aside 10 minutes during a high-pressure situation, like before a big meeting or after a difficult exchange, to breathe deeply. Try this at least twice a month to build your capacity for calm under pressure. Next, create a tangible cue to remind you. Keep a small, smooth stone, perhaps one you picked up on a walk, or a meaningful token like a locket in your pocket. Touch it whenever anxiety rises, using it as a signal to pause and breathe. Aim for 3 uses weekly to reinforce the habit. Then pair this with a mental affirmation. After each breathing session, say to yourself, "I am steady, I am present," 3 times aloud or in your mind to reinforce the calm. Doing this daily for a month will solidify the effect. Finally, track your journey. Keep a bedside log, writing a few lines after each session, noting how you felt, like "my mind felt lighter," or "I could focus on my work again." Review this log weekly to see your progress over a month, adjusting as needed. This bodily focus, unlike the proactive virtue practice we explored before, which emphasized acts like generosity to thrive, offers a reactive tool to pause the mental flood, giving you a new way to find balance in your day-to-day life. If you're enjoying this voyage so far, please hit that like button and subscribe. It fuels my passion to bring you more of Aristotle's wisdom, and I'd love to have you along for the ride. A friend, James, leaned on this technique during a grueling project deadline at his marketing firm. His mind was a whirlwind of what-ifs. What if he missed the target? What if his team blamed him? What if his boss saw him as incompetent? The stress was palpable one evening as he sat at his desk, his chest tight and his thoughts racing. He started using the structured breaths, placing his hands on his chest and belly, feeling the rhythm as he counted. 6 in, 6 hold, 8 out. He kept a small river stone in his pocket, a keepsake from a family trip to the coast, and touched it whenever the panic surged, reminding himself to breathe deeply. After 5 cycles, the storm in his mind began to settle, and he repeated his affirmation, "I am steady, I am present," feeling the words anchor him to the moment. Over the weeks, James made this a habit, breathing deeply each morning and evening, and during high-stress moments before client calls. He delivered the project with a focus his team hadn't seen before, and they later commented on his calm demeanor, asking how he managed it. Over coffee one day, James shared how those breaths became his lifeline, how they turned a chaotic deadline into a manageable challenge. His story showed me that breath can be a silent anchor in the wildest storms, a practice I've since carried into my own moments of overwhelm, like when I've faced unexpected life changes. Let's move forward by setting a dedicated worry time to reclaim mastery over your mental narrative, giving you the reins to direct your thoughts rather than be swept away by them. Overthinking can lock you in an endless cycle where worries loop without resolution, draining your energy, clouding your focus, and leaving you exhausted. This approach stands apart from the focus on practicing virtues like kindness or temperance to flourish, as we've explored before, because here we're creating a structured space to manage the reactive chaos of overthinking with intention. Aristotle championed deliberate living, emphasizing the use of reason to channel our mental energy with purpose, ensuring we don't squander our resources on fruitless rumination that steals our peace. He noted, "The wise man avoids what he will later lament," from the Nicomachean Ethics, Book 6, suggesting that by channeling worry into a controlled outlet, we prevent the regret of lost time and the weight of unaddressed fears. It's like constructing a spillway along the river, a deliberate path to manage the excess flow, allowing the waters to move without flooding the surrounding land, preserving the landscape of your mind. How do you build this mental spillway? First, select a consistent time each day. Reserve 20 minutes, perhaps at 6:30 p.m., in a quiet room with dim lighting, maybe with a cozy blanket draped over your chair and a cup of herbal tea steaming beside you, equipped with a notebook and a favorite pen to worry intentionally. Next, when overthinking arises outside this window, defer it. Say to yourself, "I'll address this at 6:30. And redirect your focus to a distraction, like listening to a soothing playlist of nature sounds for 10 minutes, practicing this at least 3 times daily to train your mind to wait. Then, during your worry period, pour out every thought onto the page. Write a detailed list, including fears like, "Will I lose my job if this project fails?" Or, "What if my friend never forgives me for that misunderstanding?" Spend the full 20 minutes without rushing, letting the words flow freely as if unburdening your soul. After that, evaluate each entry critically. Ask, what's the evidence for this fear, and can I act on it right now? Cross off unprovable worries like, "They'll hate me forever," with no basis. Do this with at least 5 items weekly to hone your discernment and lighten your load. Next, shift gears toward action. Spend the last 3 minutes planning one actionable step, like researching a solution to a work issue, drafting a message to mend a friendship, or preparing for a meeting. Turn worry into a path forward. Then, close with a moment of gratitude. Write one thing you're thankful for, like a supportive colleague, a kind stranger, or a peaceful morning. This helps to end on a positive note. Make this a daily ritual to balance the heaviness of your worries. Next, reflect weekly. On Sunday evening, spend 15 minutes reviewing your notes. Identify patterns, like recurring anxieties about performance or relationships. Adjust your strategy, perhaps shifting the time to 5:30 p.m. if evenings feel too intense. Then share your insights. Once a month, discuss your worry time experience with a close friend over dinner or a phone call. Ask for their thoughts on your patterns, like whether you're too hard on yourself. This can help you gain a fresh perspective that enriches your practice. Finally, reward your effort. Once a month, treat yourself to something small, like a new book or a walk in the park. Celebrate your commitment to this process by marking it on your calendar. This structured release, unlike the virtue-driven flourishing we've explored before, offers a mental management technique. It gives you a way to channel the river's overflow without letting it flood your life, restoring your sense of agency. A friend, Emma, applied this method during a challenging job hunt that left her mind in knots. She was constantly worrying about rejection. Every application felt like a test of her worth, and every silence from a recruiter spun her into a loop of, "I'm not good enough, I'll never succeed." She started her worry time at 6:30 p.m., sitting in her living room with a lavender candle lit to create a calm atmosphere, writing down every fear. What if I never get hired? What if I'm stuck in this rut forever? Over weeks, she challenged these thoughts, crossing off ones with no evidence, like "I'll never find a job," and planned actions, like updating her resume or reaching out to a contact. She ended each session with gratitude, noting small wins like a kind word from her sister or a sunny day that lifted her spirits. On Sundays, she reviewed her notes, noticing her biggest fear was tied to financial insecurity from her past, and adjusted by budgeting more carefully and seeking a side gig. Sharing this with me over a dinner of pasta and wine, she said it gave her control, turning her worry into a structured release, and soon after she landed a role, her clarity a testament to this practice. Emma's triumph taught me that a spillway can channel the wildest mental floods, a strategy I've used during my own uncertain seasons, like when I've faced big life decisions without clear answers. Wow, you've stayed with me this long. Thank you so much for sticking around. It means the world to me that you're here, diving deep into Aristotle's wisdom to master your mind. Before we move to our final, most impactful step, I'd love for you to drop a comment below. Share which of these ways resonates with you the most, or just say hi. It really helps me keep creating these videos for you. Let's move into the last step, the one that can truly transform how you navigate your thoughts. Let's continue our journey of mastering the mind with Aristotle's timeless wisdom, building on the powerful tools we've already explored to stop overthinking. So far, we've identified your overthinking triggers, centered yourself on what you can control, used the power of breath to restore calm, and set a dedicated worry time to manage your thoughts. Now, we're moving into the final step, the most transformative one yet, that will help you truly take charge of your mental river. We're drawing from the lessons in our Aristotle's Wisdom playlist, where we've tackled breaking confidence barriers, boosting leadership with virtues, and practicing virtues to flourish. This video, 5 Ways to Stop Overthinking and Master Your Mind, Aristo Soul, is about equipping you with the tools to quiet the inner storm. And this last step could be the key to unlocking a profound sense of freedom and control. Let's keep navigating this river together, wave by wave. Let's move into the last step, the one that can truly transform how you navigate your thoughts. Finally, let's embrace decisive action to master your mind once and for all. This is the most transformative way, the pinnacle of our journey today. While we've explored stopping external barriers, practicing leadership virtues, and flourishing through proactive goodness in previous videos, this is about converting insight into bold, life-changing movement, acting through the noise to claim your destiny. Aristotle saw action as the ultimate expression of a cultivated soul, the moment where wisdom blossoms into reality, shaping not just your thoughts, but your entire being. He said, "Excellence is an art won by training and habituation," from the Nicomachean Ethics, Book 2, where he taught that repeated, purposeful action not only quiets the mind, but molds our character into something enduring and admirable. It's the mighty dam that holds the river steady, allowing you to navigate with unwavering confidence, turning the chaotic currents of overthinking into a directed flow that serves your growth. Decisive action isn't about reckless leaps, it's about deliberate, intentional steps that break the cycle of overthinking by proving to your mind that you can move forward despite uncertainty, building momentum with each choice you make. How do you cultivate this practice of decisive action to transform your mental landscape? First, begin with small, manageable steps. Each day, pick one minor decision like choosing what to wear, what to eat for breakfast, or which task to tackle first. Make it in under 45 seconds without hesitation. Turn this into a morning ritual that you track on a calendar to build consistency. Next, escalate weekly to build confidence. Select a medium decision like planning a family outing, scheduling a difficult conversation, or deciding on a weekend project. Commit within 10 minutes, noting the decision time and outcome in a journal to reflect on your progress. Then celebrate each triumph to reinforce the habit. After every action, take a full minute to savor the moment. Write victory in your journal or draw a star next to the decision. Do this daily to build momentum, a step beyond the reflections of earlier methods like tracking your breathing. After that, reflect deeply to refine your approach. Spend 20 minutes every Sunday reviewing your week's actions, asking, what freed my mind from overthinking? And what still lingers as a hesitation? Adjust your approach with one new goal, like speaking up more in meetings or trying a new hobby. After that, reflect deeply to refine your approach. Spend 20 minutes every Sunday reviewing your week's actions, asking what freed my mind from overthinking, and what still lingers as a hesitation. Adjusting your approach with one new goal, like speaking up more in meetings or trying a new hobby. Next, set a monthly milestone to stretch your decisiveness. Choose a significant pursuit, like learning a new skill such as cooking a complex dish, or launching a side project like starting a blog. Take a concrete step like enrolling in a course or setting up a website within the first 3 days. Document the process in your journal to see how action reduces worry. Then, share your growth to solidify your commitment. Once a month, tell a friend or mentor about a success, like I led a meeting without overthinking my words. Ask for their encouragement, perhaps over a shared coffee, strengthening your resolve through connection. Next, build a legacy of action to sustain long-term change. Create a yearly vision board with one bold action, like moving to a new city or taking a dream trip. Start planning it in the last month of the year, tying it to your daily decisions to create a thread of purpose. Next, build a legacy of action to sustain long-term change. Create a yearly vision board with one bold action, like moving to a new city or taking a dream trip. Start planning it in the last month of the year, tying it to your daily decisions to create a thread of purpose. Finally, integrate reflection with celebration. Once a quarter, revisit your journal and vision board, noting how each decisive action has shifted your mindset. And reward yourself with something meaningful, like a day trip, to mark your growth. This decisive leap, surpassing the breathing or worry techniques we've covered, transforms overthinking into a catalyst for progress, turning the river's chaos into a directed flow toward your goals. I once faced this myself, years before starting this channel, when I was planning a cross-country move that felt like a leap into the unknown. My mind swirled with doubts, financial strain, job uncertainty, leaving behind friends and family, starting over in a new place. I'd lie awake at night, overthinking every detail. What if I can't afford it? What if I hate the new city? I once faced this myself, years before starting this channel, when I was planning a cross-country move that felt like a leap into the unknown. My mind swirled with doubts, financial strain, job uncertainty, leaving behind friends and family, starting over in a new place. I'd lie awake at night, overthinking every detail. What if I can't afford it? What if I hate the new city? The worry was paralyzing, a mental river flooding with every what if, but I decided to act. I picked a date 3 months out, researched moving companies, and booked a truck, all within a week. I started small, choosing what to pack first, and built up to bigger decisions like securing a new apartment. Each action silenced a worry, and I celebrated by noting each step in a journal, writing done with a smile. Reflecting weekly, I saw how action replaced fear with clarity, and when I shared my progress with a friend over dinner, their encouragement fueled me further. Each action silenced a worry, and I celebrated by noting each step in a journal, writing done with a smile. Reflecting weekly, I saw how action replaced fear with clarity, and when I shared my progress with a friend over dinner, their encouragement fueled me further. By the time I moved, the clarity that followed was like the river finding its bed, steady and sure. It wasn't about making videos, it was about living fully, proving to myself that action could tame the wildest doubts. A friend, Oliver, mirrored this journey when he decided to switch careers despite fears of failure. His mind looped with worries, leaving a stable job, starting over, facing rejection. But he applied for roles, prepared diligently, and landed a position within months, his confidence soaring as he shared his journey with me over a call. A friend, Oliver, mirrored this journey when he decided to switch careers despite fears of failure. His mind looped with worries, leaving a stable job, starting over, facing rejection. But he applied for roles, prepared diligently, and landed a position within months, his confidence soaring as he shared his journey with me over a call. Oliver's courage, paired with my own leap, taught me that action is the mind's ultimate master, a truth that still steadies my course. His story, woven with mine, showed me the river flows best when you dare to chart its path with decisive steps. Oliver's courage, paired with my own leap, taught me that action is the mind's ultimate master, a truth that still steadies my course. His story, woven with mine, showed me the river flows best when you dare to chart its path with decisive steps. Now let's bring it all to a close. Overthinking can feel like a river unleashed, a force that threatens to drown your peace, your potential, and your joy. But Aristotle's wisdom, his reverence for reason, his embrace of balance, and his call to action offers you 5 powerful ways to guide that river. Now let's bring it all to a close. Overthinking can feel like a river unleashed, a force that threatens to drown your peace, your potential, and your joy. But Aristotle's wisdom, his reverence for reason, his embrace of balance, and his call to action offers you 5 powerful ways to guide that river. From identifying those sneaky triggers with Liam's insight, to centering on control with Sarah's calm, to breathing deeply with James's anchor, to managing worry with Emma's spillway, and finally acting decisively with Oliver's boldness. You've been equipped with tools to master your mind, each step carving a deeper channel toward a calmer, stronger you. This isn't just ancient philosophy, it's a living, breathing path to transform your days, from the quiet moments of reflection to the bold leaps of decision. Start today, name a trigger, take a series of deep breaths, set your worry time, focus on what you control, or make one quick choice, and feel the current shift. Start today, name a trigger, take a series of deep breaths, set your worry time, focus on what you control, or make one quick choice, and feel the current shift. If this journey has touched you, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more Aristo Soul videos. We've got a river of growth stretching ahead, and I can't wait to navigate it with you on the next chapter of this wisdom-filled adventure.